And I hate when they put their pictures on and don't sit there. Is he alive?
He's not good.
Hey, David.
Molly, gosh.
Like Ethan.
Hands together. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
To our guests who are here in the sanctuary, Shabbat Shalom. Let's hear you say it back. Awesome, awesome. And to our friends and guests who are watching from wherever you are, Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to Temple Emanu-El. It is a beautiful day for a Mincha Ma'ariv Havdalah service tempered by Adam's Bar Mitzvah, which is going to be amazing. So, friends who are joining us, the service is pinned to your Facebook page, and you can click on that. Friends who are in the synagogue, Your Red Sea door is the one we're going to be using. And you'll see that this is a highly participatory service. So you'll have Hebrew, which is on the right, English on the left, the transliteration in the middle. You'll find some of the English readings are italicized, and that means we all join in. Claps, snaps, foot taps, they're all kosher. La la la's, kosher. God understands la la la, just great. Cantor Lorna Desnick, Rabbi Spike Anderson. Take a moment, please, to introduce yourselves either online or wave to each other in the sanctuary or wave to Adam or Lisa or David up on the bema. We're so proud of you, Adam. Adam, this is, the bar mitzvah is a rite of passage. And the rite of passage is from childhood to adulthood. One of the reasons, one of the theories why we Jews have done as well as we've done for as long as we've done is because we give our youth leadership roles from a very early age. If we had put you in charge of a group of kindergartners for anything, that would actually be a big deal, right? It would mean that we thought that you had good judgment, right? That we trusted you with little kids, it'd be a big deal. And if you're in charge of a group of your peers, that's also a really big deal, right? Here, for these 90 minutes, Adam, you are in charge of everybody. You're in charge of the service, you're in charge of the congregation, you're in charge of people your age, younger, your parents' age, your grandparents' age. You're in charge. And the hope is that by leading us in our service, Adam, and by chanting Torah, and you've worked so hard to get there, and giving us your drash, your interpretation, your sermon, right? The way that you see Torah in the everyday world, that you take this success that you're going to have and the momentum and you run with it, right? You use that for the next big thing and the next big thing. And whether that's for the Jewish people or for the world at large, and it could be both, maybe at the same time, this is the way that you begin the next step of your life's journey, knowing that you're loved, knowing that you're supported, knowing that you've got 4,000 years of Jewish peoplehood and tradition behind you, knowing that we have a mission to move the world from where it is to where it needs to be. And you've got a vital part in that. Today is a celebration of you, of getting this far, of who you are, of who we are, and you're leading us along the way. So friends, Hine Matov, page 4, it is so good for us to be together. Here we go.
הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שרצפים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שרצפים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב. Na 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 na. One more time. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב. Na 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 na. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שרצפים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שרצפים גם יחד.
So Adam, one of the benchmarks along the way today is the presentation of the Talit, which was going to be done by your parents, David and Lisa. So the tradition, my friend, is that the day before, the week before, even the morning of, before your bar mitzvah, you're not allowed to publicly wear your talis, okay? This is adult Jewish clothing. And as a symbol of you transitioning into Jewish adulthood, your parents are going to gift you, present you, your adult clothing, your talis, which is an outward sign of your newly emerging status, okay? So David and Lisa, on page 5, you've got the Talit invocation.
As this talit is draped around your shoulders, may the voices of the generations speak to you. May you know that there is a people, a rich heritage to which you belong. a sacred place from which you are connected to all who dwell on earth. As you are embraced in the folds of this Talit, so too are you wrapped in the loving embrace of your family, community, this holy congregation. May this simplest of garments always be for you a symbol of God's abiding and sheltering presence. As you recite the blessing and wrap yourself in this Talit, we proudly watch and celebrate with you as you accept your place in the chain of our tradition.
Okay, now Adam, you're going to say the blessing before the Talit.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvah tav v'tzivanu l'chitatef b'tzitzit.
We all say amen.
Amen.
Okay, and then mom and dad are going to drape your Talit over you. Okay. Now, David and Lisa, in case you haven't figured it out, this is a touchy-feely service. Anytime it is remotely appropriate for you to touch him, hug him, kiss him, you should do it. Friends, and if you'll put mom and dad a hand on his shoulder, okay? We know that families come together, communities come together for all sorts of occasions. Some sad, this one, super happy. Adam, under my mask, grin, okay? Super happy. So we have a tradition. When we know we are entering or experiencing a certain type of sacred time, we say our Shehechianu prayer. Literally, thank you, God, that we are here, that we're breathing, we're together. May we have this type of simcha, this type of happiness again and again and again. Please join us, page 5.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechianu v'kimanu v'hikianu hazman hazeh. Amen.
Adam, will you lead us on page 6?
God be with me on this occasion of my bar mitzvah. Help me make meaningful the covenant you now establish with me. Sustain me with a sense of holiness. Inspire in me a desire to be special. I do not ask that you make my life easy, resolve my problems, map out the directions of my life. I only ask that you strengthen with me the desire to mold and shape my life in accordance with your will. In this hour of my bar mitzvah, I invoke your blessings upon my parents and friends who all have loved and cared for me and brought me to this time of gladness. Give them joy and fulfillment in my growth and my achievement. You turn the hearts of children to their parents and the hearts of parents to their children.
Good. So in a moment, Adam, you're going to lead us in Ashrei on page 10. Ashrei is a prayer about gratitude. And one of the things that our sages tell us, advise us, and how to best engage the world is with a sense of gratitude. It's very easy to look around and see what we don't have or isn't right, and there is a place for that. But there's also a place for recognizing the blessings that we have in our lives, in our community, even naming them. So as we move into Ashrei for everybody who's participating, I'd encourage you to think of at least one thing that you are very grateful for in this moment right now. Ashrei, page 10.
Ashrei shveveteha, odihalu hasela.
Ashrei ha'am shekachalo, Ashrei ha'am she'Adonai Eloha.
Tehillah leDavid, Arim ha'Elohai ha'melech, v'avrcha shimcha le'olam va'ed.
B'chol yom avartecha, va'achalel shimcha le'olam va'ed.
Gadol Adonai hu'am me'od, v'ligdalato ein heker.
Dor ledor yishabach ma'asecha, ugvarotecha yagidu.
Hadar kavod hodeha, v'divrei nifloteha asiha.
Ve'ezuz nerotecha yomeru, ugdilatecha saprena.
Zeheratu yabiu, v'tzidakta yiranenu.
Chadun v'rachum Adonai, Erech apayim ugdal chesed.
Tov Adonai lakol, v'rachamav al kol ma'asav.
Yoducha Adonai kol ma'asecha, v'chasitecha yivarchucha.
Kevod malchuta yomiru, ugvrata yedaberu.
Lehodia livnei ha'adam gevurotav, uchvod hadar malchuto.
Malchuta malchut kol olamim, umemshalta b'chol dor v'ador.
Somech Adonai lechol hanoflim, vezokef lechol hakefufim.
Enei koi leha yesaberu, v'ata notin lahem et olcham ba'ito.
Poteach et yadecha, umasbia lechol chai ratzon.
Sadik Adonai b'chol derahav, v'sahid b'chol ma'asav.
Karov Adonai lechol kor'ah, lechol asher yikra'uhu ve'emet.
Ritzon Yirayav Ya'aseh, ve'et Shavtan Yishma ve'yoshiyem.
Shomer Adonai et kol ohavav, ve'et kol harshayim yashmi.
Tehilat Adonai Yedaber Pi, ve'yivar kol basar kemsho le'olam va'ed.
Va'anachnu nevarech ya, me'ata ve'ad olam. Hallelujah.
Adam, page 13.
May the door of the synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for fellowship.
Together, may it
May it
welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture.
May the door of the synagogue be narrow enough to shut out the pettiness and pride.
May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet.
May it be too high to admit indifference, selfishness, and harshness.
May this synagogue be for all who enter, the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life. We'll rise, everybody, for Baruch, which you'll find on page 15. Baruch means we are warmed up, we are ready, we are super, super present. Here we go.
Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la la. Ya la 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 la. La 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Here we go.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
You'll find Ma'ariv Aravim on your inside front cover. At a Ma'ariv Aravim talks about the beginning of the Jewish day, which of course you know begins at night. And here we have a religion which emphasizes that each evening, each day, we have a chance to create ourselves anew, to renew our commitment to ourselves and the world around us, that we are not locked in to what happened yesterday or last month or last year. We have a chance to essentially begin again every time the moon rises. Adam, will you lead us in Ma'ariv Aravim?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bibaro ma'ariv arvim, behokma poteach sharim, uvitfunah meshana itim, halif et hazmanim, sader et hakohavim, b'mishmerotehem bar kirat zono, Borei Yom Valayla, Golel Or Mipnei Hoshech, Vehoshech Mipnei Or. Uma'avir Yom Uve Vilayla, Umarvil Ben Yom Uven Laila, Adonai Tzevaot Shemo, El Hai V'Kayam Tamid, Yamloch Aleinu Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Hama'ariv Arvim.
Amen. Amen. In a moment, Adam, you'll lead us on page 16, what Ahava Rabbah, which translates as God's abundant love. So I'll start by talking to your mom and dad for a minute. All right, so Lisa and David, first bar mitzvah. You're feeling pretty adult right now, I bet, aren't you? Yeah. So here we have this prayer which talks about God's love. And the closest thing that the rabbis can help us to understand this is the love of a parent to a child. And the love that you each have for Adam is immense, to the moon and back, to infinity and beyond. That big, that's what we're talking about. But of course, you don't just have Adam, you've got Rachel. And your love for her is also to infinity and beyond, eternal. The love for one doesn't at all exclude the love for the next, right? You have so much, and they're so different, and yet you have so much that you have for each of them. And that gives us a hint, say the rabbis, of God's love for each of us, each one of us. Adam, when you think about all the people who love and support you, if you really were going to make a list, it'd probably be a very long list, and you're very lucky. Okay, and I know that you're aware of that. So according to your tradition, on your list is God. We believe that God does love you abundantly. And if you can go through life holding on to that, understanding that even when you seem to be alone, that you are not, then you are in communion, you have fellowship, right? Even when there's no one around. Adam, would you lead us in Ahava Rabbah on page 16?
Ahava Rabbah Havtanu, Adonai Eloheinu Hama Gedolah Hamata Aleinu, Ba'avor Avotinu Ve'imotinu, Shabbat Hu Vaha, Vatzlan Den Hukai Haim, Kain Tehunenu Utlan Denu, Ham Rahim Rahim Aleinu, Vatain Bilibenu Lehavan Ohaskil Lishmaa, Lamod Olamid Lishmor Velasot Okayim Et Kol Divrei Talmud Torteha Be'ahava. Baruch Atah Adonai Havoher Ba'amo Yisrael Be'ahava.
Amen. We're getting ready now for the Shema. Adam, this is probably the first prayer that you ever learned. Chances are it is. And according to the tradition, it's the last prayer a Jew says before she or he passes on. And in between those times, the Shema is said. How many times do you think you've said the Shema in your life?
A lot.
1,000? More, who knows? Many, many times. Each one is like a weave going back into the same place, like a wormhole in time, bringing us to this central declaration of ethical monotheism, meaning that we Jews believe that not all morality is relative. There is such thing as right and wrong. We live in a world where we have a connection not only to one another, but to the one. Adam, this Shema is going to be one you'll remember for the rest of your life. Here we go.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed.
Please be seated. The Havdalah Adam on page 18.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levacha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha. V'hayu havarim ha'ele asher Anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha. Veshinamtam levanecha v'dibarta b'am v'shivtecha v'techa u'leftecha v'derech u'shoktecha u'v'kumecha u'kshartam leot aleyecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha u'v'tatam al mezuzot beitecha u'v'isharecha Leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hitem kedoshim Elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hositietem me'eretz Mitzrayim l'hiot lachem Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem.
Adonai Lechem Emet.
I'd like to invite up Leslie and Michael Tobin to lead us in our reading on page 19.
Adonai, our God, you took us out of slavery in Egypt. You made us free.
Together, you were
You are
in the courage with which we overcame 40 years of desert wandering.
Even today, you are in the hope that, like a beam of light, brightens the darkness of suffering and despair.
You are
You are
in the love that creates, protects, forgives.
Standing at the sea, we felt your goodness and your love, and we sang a new song to you. And still today, we sing that song.
We praise you, Adonai, Redeemer of Israel. Michamocha, page 20.
We clap like this. Let's sing that again. Here we go. Sur Yisrael,
Please rise.
Kuma Bezrat Yisrael, Ufidechinu Umecha, Yehuda veYisrael, V'aleinu Adonai Tzevaot Shemo, Kedosh Yisrael, Baruch Ata Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael.
We join in singing what the Israelites proclaimed after they had successfully crossed the sea. We find in their redemption the strength to seek our own. This struggle carries us into the Amidah, a prayer of becoming, of transformation, of divine human partnership that brings grace into our lives and into our world. Adam, will you lead us in our Amidah on page 21?
Adonai sefatitah ufi yagitehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Eloheinu v'Yimotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzhak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor V'Hanara El Elyon Gomer Chasadim Tovim V'Konei HaKol V'Zocher Asei Avot V'Imahot U'Mevei Gevura Livnei V'neihem L'ma'an Shemo Ve'ahava Melech Ozer U'Mashiach U'Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham Ve'ezra Sarah Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mekayed HaKol Atah Mashiach Mashiach HaRuach U'Mori HaGashem Mechakel Chaim B'Chesed Mechayev HaKol B'Rachamim Ranim Somech Noflim V'Rofech Olim U'Matir Asurim U'Mekayem Emunato L'Shemet Afar Michanocha Ba'al Gevurot U'Nidon Elah Melech Memit U'Mechayeh U'Masmiach Yeshua V'Ne'emanata L'Chayot HaKol Baruch atah Adonai Mechayeh HaKol. I'd like to invite up Josh Drew and Eli Tobin to lead us in the reading on page 23.
Okay, whatever. Okay. Many are the ways of holiness, varied are its paths.
There is holiness when we strive to be true to the best we know.
There is holiness when we are kind to others.
There is holiness when we strive for harmony in all of our relationships.
There is holiness when our people of different backgrounds work together for a common future.
There is holiness when people seek justice and struggle for righteousness.
There is holiness when people create lasting poetry or song or philosophy.
There is holiness when we forget what divides us and remember what unites us.
Holy, holy, holy is Adonai our God.
Kedusha, page 24.
Nekadesh Shimcha ba'olam, Kishem Shemati Shemo Tovishme Marom, Kakatuv Ayad Nevi'echa, V'kara Zelzel Ve'amar, Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzvaot, Meloch Haaretz, Evodo, Adir, Adirenu, Adonai, Adonenu, Madir Shimcha B'chol Haaretz, Baruch Evod Adonai, Mimkomo. Echad hu Eloheinu, hu Avinu, hu Malkeinu, hu Moshienu, ve'hu Yashmienu, Berachamav le'nei kol chai. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Yimloch Adonai le'olam, Elohai Tzion, Le'dor v'dor. Hallelujah. Le'dor v'dor.
Ledor vador,
Le'dor v'dor.
ledor vador,
Le'dor v'dor. Nagid kol lecha. Le'dor v'dor.
ledor vador,
Le'dor v'dor.
ledor vador,
Le'dor v'dor. Nagid kol lecha. Ulenetzach netzachim, Kedushatecha nakdish, Kedushatecha nakdish. V'shivata Eloheinu, v'giru lo yamush, le'olam va. And here comes your part. Le'dor v'dor.
ledor vador,
Le'dor v'dor.
ledor vador,
Le'dor v'dor. Nagid kol lecha. Le Dorvador na you.
Dorvador.
Le Dorvador.
Dorvador.
Le Dorvador na Gidor Lecha. Ki HaMelech Gadol, Gadol v'Kadosh, Gadol v'Kadosh Ata. Ki HaMelech Gadol, Gadol v'Kadosh, Gadol v'Kadosh Ata. Baruch Atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
Amen. Everybody can be seated. Adam, will you lead us on page 25 responsively? So we'll all join in on the italics with you.
From old, the Jewish people have seen Shabbat as a unique gift, a token of its covenant with God.
Shabbat is the most cherished creation of the Jewish spirit and mirrors the essence of the Jewish soul.
Shabbat has never been merely a day of rest from labor. It has always been a break from routine of everyday life.
Shabbat is a symbol of liberation and triumph, of the holy over the profane, of spirit over matter.
In every age, Shabbat afforded the Jew a sacred retreat, a heaven of foundation of new strength and perpetual renewal.
Shabbat nurtures family life in love and harmony. A home at peace welcomes Shabbat with joy.
Shabbat is a part of nature's design, the very purpose of creation. All that was created attained its fulfillment in Shabbat.
Shabbat is our hope, the calm haven where all the weary find rest. With the coming of Shabbat, redemption and peace enter the world. Page 26, Yismachu.
Here we go. Yismechu v'malchutecha, Shomerei, 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 Shabbat v'Korei, Onei Shabbat. Let's sing together. Yismechu v'malchutecha, Shomerei, 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 Shabbat v'Korei, Onei Shabbat. One more time. Yismechu v'malchutecha, Shomerei, 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 Shabbat v'Korei, Onei Shabbat. Yismechu v'malchutecha, Shomerei, 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 Shabbat v'Korei, Onei Shabbat.
I'd like to invite up Sister Rachel. Page 27, Rachel, you're going to lead us and we'll all respond with the italics.
Our world is full of wonders and miracles, but all it takes is one little hand placed before our eyes and we see nothing.
But miracles are all around us and within us. We are each walking miracles.
When we are bruised, what miracle heals us? When we see beauty, what miracle elevates us? When we hear music, what miracle moves us?
When we see suffering, what miracle saddens us? When we give and receive love, what miracle warms us? When we pray, what miracle renews us?
Every springtime is a miracle. Every snowflake is a miracle. The thoughts we think, the words we speak, the hopes we cherish, each is a miracle.
For all these miracles, may your name be exalted and blessed forever and ever. And on page 28, I'd like to call up friend Hudson Schwartz.
Our God, we know there is no greater gift than peace. Help us find the peace that comes from the love of your Torah.
Inspire us to banish hatred, war, bloodshed, and bigotry. Help us to establish forever one human family, doing your will in love and peace.
Help us to find peace in ourselves and among all people. O God of peace, bless us with peace.
You have given us the power, O God, to bring peace and justice into the world. May we always love peace and pursue it, and love our fellow creatures. Fill us with kindness, wisdom, and love. Then shall we learn to live in peace. Blessed is God, teacher of peace. I invite everyone to take a silent moment of reflection, meditation, conversation, communion with the divine. What will you say? And in the silence, what will you hear?
We meet back together in these words on page 30. Yehiyu l'ratzonim re'efi, may the words of my mouth, the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, Adonai, Eternal One, my rock and my redeemer. Yehiyu l'ratzonim re'efi, v'hegion libi lifanecha, Adonai Turi, Adonai Turi, Vigoli,
Lisa and David, the words on page 31 are the parents' blessing, an amalgamation of words lifted from the Talmud. And this is the beginning of blessing you're giving to your son Adam on this most wonderful of days.
May you live to see your world fulfilled. May your destiny be for worlds still to come. And may you trust in generations past and yet to be. May your heart be filled with intuition, and your words be filled with insight. May songs of praise ever be upon your tongue, and your vision be on a straight path before you. May your eyes shine with the light of holy words, and your face reflect the brightness of the heavens. May your lips ever speak wisdom, and your fulfillment be in righteousness. A Jewish home opens its heart, and its link to the generations is proclaimed. Today, our child, nearly grown, is called to read from the Torah and is welcomed into the congregation. May this moment be blessed.
Hug, hug, kiss, kiss. Yeah. All right, everyone, please rise for our Torah service, page 32.
Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, U'devar Adonai Mirushalayim, Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah, Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah, Le'almo Yisrael, B'kedushato. So Adam and Lisa and David, in a moment, not yet, in a moment, Adam, you will receive the Torah. And you and I have talked about the Torah in so many different ways, right? We've spent lots of our time working on your Torah portion together. And we talked about the Torah as a tree of life and what it means for the Torah to become a tree of life. And really, the Torah is like this huge light. It's like a torch. And we know that it would not be coming down to you today in this very moment if it weren't for all of your ancestors that came before you and before you and before you. We talked about that too, right? So we know that even from Abraham, this idea of Torah and generations have come through the years. And you are so lucky because you have your grandparents here in our sanctuary right now. And I can tell even through their masks that they are beaming and felling for you. And so if you just imagine their ancestors and their ancestors' ancestors all surrounding us, their spirit in this room right now, elevated because you are about to receive the Torah. And I want to make sure we hear grandparents' names. So Amy and Jack Tobin and Sonia Jacobson and Bob and Maritza Jacobson, all here to watch your dad, Adam, and your mom pass Torah to you. So David, you're going to go ahead and pick up the Torah. And Mom, you're going to give a little kiss and touch. Beautiful. And then we pass it right to Adam. You got it? It's heavy, right? Not just physically heavy, but it's really, it's a heavy thing. So you're going to hang on to it while we do some blessings together on page 33. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo, Gadol Adonai Iti, Uneromima Shemo Yachtav. And now the Bar Mitzvah family can undress the Torah. Lecha Adonai Hagedula, v'Hagibura, v'Hatiferet, v'Hanetzach, v'Ha'od. Hiku b'shamayim u'ba'aretz, Hiku b'shamayim u'ba'aretz. Lecha Adonai hamelacha, v'hamitnaseh, L'chol Rosh. Beautiful. And Adam, while you find your yad, I'm going to tell everybody what you are chanting. So you are chanting this week's parashah, Terumah, gifts. What a gift you have given us today, Adam. And the verses in chapter you are chanting, Exodus 25, 13 through 24. And for the honor of our first aliyah, we call up Amy and Jack Tobit to our microphone bima. Ya'amdu Esther Bat Chaim, Yaakov ben Meir, la'aliyah LaTorah.
Your blessings are on page 34.
Baruch Adonai Habarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Habarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher b'chavana mikol ha'olim, v'nasa lanu es torso. Baruch Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen.
Amen. Va'asita v'adeh atzei shitim, v'tzipita atam zahav, v'heveta et habadim v'tabaot, al tza'ot ha'aron, latzeit et ha'aron bahem, v'tabaot ha'aron yehu habadim, lo yetzeru mimenu.
Yashar Koach. And before we hear our following blessing, Dad is going to make sure that that microphone is pointing right to your mouth. Excellent. And grandparents, whenever you're ready, take it away.
Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu et torto, v'yehim Adonai natan Eloheinu. Baruch Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen. Yashar Koach. Blow some air kisses up towards Adam. And for the honor of our second aliyah, we call up Sonia Jacobson and Robert Jacobson. Ya'amdu Sarah Bat Freda Umisha, Reuben Ben Bernard Vesara, la'aliyah LaTorah.
And everyone else may be seated.
Someday I'll remember to seat everybody.
It's okay.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam.
Baruch Adonai. Baruch Adonai Habarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Habarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher b'achar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu el Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen.
Amen. V'natata el ha'aron et ha'edud, Asher etain eleha vasita haporet zahav taor amatayim vaheti orko ve'ama vaheti rakba vasi tat shanayim cherubim zahav mikshat taseh otam mishnei ketzot hakaporet.
Amen. Yasher Koach.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah nat v'chayalam nata b'toshenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Yasher Koach. Air hugs and kisses to Adam. And it is my pleasure to now call up proud mom and dad. Ya'amdu, Leabat Yaakov v'Sarah, David ben Reuven v'Sarah, la'aliyah Torah. Remember, hold up that microphone and flip it up for on.
Baruch Adonai Habarach.
Baruch Adonai Habarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Habarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Va'aseh keruv echad mikatza mizeh, uheruv echad mikatza mizeh, mein hakaporet tasu et hakeruvim, al shnei ketzotav, vehayu hakeruvim porseh, henafayim lemala, sochechim behanefehem el hakaporet, ufnehem ish al hiv el hakaporet. Yehiyu Pnei HaKeruvim, V'natata El HaKapor El Ha'aron, Me'lamala Ve'el Ha'aron Titain Et Ha'edud, Asher Etain Eleha.
Yasher Koach, mom and dad.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'techenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Hugs and kisses for Adam. And Adam, you're going to have a seat just for a moment. Adam, wow, can you believe we made it here this quickly? No, right? You're doing awesome. So this is the moment everybody asks, lots of students ask me, well, Kenner, when is the moment that I become a bar mitzvah? It's right now in this moment. So the reason we have you sit and then walk up to the bima is because as you are walking up to the bima, you are literally making aliyah. And the word aliyah means to ascend. So you are ascending up to the Torah. You are ascending into becoming a bar mitzvah. And so that movement from your chair up to the Torah demonstrates that. But it goes even deeper than that. Because as you are physically walking from your chair to the Torah, and you're moving up into becoming that amazing bar mitzvah that you have been working towards really since you were born, you're also moving upwards and you are moving deeper into a sense of who you are Jewishly and who you are spiritually as a Jew. And in your doing that, Adam, you are elevating all of us Jewishly and spiritually, not just us here in this room, but every single person that is present with you through the Zoom screen, through the Facebook Live, who are all thinking of you as you make this journey. So it's my honor and my privilege to call you up to the bima as an official bar mitzvah. Come on up. Yamad habachor habar mitzvah, matan faivu ben David v'Leah, la'aliyah laTorah.
Baruch et Adonai Habarach.
Baruch Adonai Habarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Habarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher Baharbanu Mikol Hamim, Vinatan Lanu Et Torto, Baruch Atah Adonai, Notain HaTorah.
Amen.
Veno Adeti Leha, Sham Vidibarti, Iteha Me'al Hakaporet. Miben Shane Hakerivim, Asher Al Aron Haidut, Et Kol Asher Atzave, Odeha Bnei Israel, Vasita Shiluha Atse Shitim, Amatayim Arko, Ve'ama Rakba, Ve'ama Vaheti Kumato, Viti Pita Oto Zahav, Tahor, Vasita Lo, Zer Zahav, Sa'aviv.
Yasher Koach, and we'll make the blessing after.
Baruch Atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'hayei olam natah b'toheinu, Baruch Atah Adonai, notain haTorah.
Amen.
Mazel tov. Okay. I'm going to ask everyone to rise, please. Mom and Dad, would you get on either side of Adam, flanking him with a hand on his shoulder? So Adam, we are going to give you a special Misha Berach prayer for your continued spiritual development. The idea and the hope is that today and in these moments, that this bar mitzvah, your bar mitzvah, acts as a spiritual cornerstone for you. There will be times in your life that you find yourself rudderless, spiritually rudderless. And the hope is that you remember right now, with your parents' hands on your shoulders, family and friends standing around you in support, receiving this Misha Berach prayer after having just lain beautifully leading us in this service. And that serves as the cornerstone for you to find when you need to and push off of when you need to as well. We'll do it in Hebrew and then in English. Misha Berach Avotenu V'Imatenu Avraham Yitzchak V'Yaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel V'Leah Hu Yivarech Et Atan Feivel Ben David V'Leah Shehagia LaMitzvot La'ala L'Torah HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yismirehu V'Chayehu V'Chonein Et Libo L'Yot Shalem Im Adonai Elohav L'Hagot B'Torato L'Lecha B'Drachav V'Lishmor Mitzvotav V'Yimsechen V'Seichel Tov V'nei Elohim V'Adam V'Nomar. Amen. May the God who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless you, Adam, who's come up for an aliyah upon the age of mitzvot. May the Holy One guard you and sustain you, helping you to be wholehearted in your faith, studying God's Torah, walking in God's ways, and fulfilling God's mitzvot. May you find favor before God and all people, and let us say, Amen. Okay, I'll ask everyone to please be seated. Mom and Dad, if you can roll up the Torah a little bit and just cover it. There you go. And Adam, while they're doing that, you'll get out your Devar Torah, your drash. Part of this day is demonstrating some of the study that you've done on the Devar Torah that you chanted. Now, none of this has been easy. And even for those of us who've been to many, many bar and bat mitzvahs, or it's been a long time since you've been to one, don't forget how hard one has to study to even do what you've just done, Adam. Chant in the original, do it without vowels, right? That's a very big deal in itself. Now you're going to be expressing what you've learned in the language that you think in, and that is English. Taking the jewels and the light of Torah and bringing it through the gem that is you. There's going to be a unique reflection and refraction of those holy words because you yourself are unique in who you are and your experiences. Whenever you're ready.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
My Torah portion is Cherubim from the book of Exodus. In my Torah portion, we have just left slavery and are in the middle of the desert. We are working towards freedom in Israel and are trying to figure out what it means to be free. God instructed Moses to accept gifts and donations from other Israelites to build a traveling tabernacle, also called a mishkan or a sanctuary. Some of the gifts include gold, silver, and copper. They also accepted blue, purple, and crimson yarns, linen, and goat's hair to decorate the sanctuary. God also gives detailed instructions for the sanctuary's furnishing. For example, the sanctuary had to contain the Ark of the Covenant with its sacred stones on which the Ten Commandments are inscribed, and pure gold as well as the Ark. God had Moses and his people build the sanctuary to pray and dwell in it together. When the Israelites were done building the sanctuary, God's reward was that we would go and dwell amongst the Israelites. The sanctuary was built so the Israelites could gather one area and pray together instead of praying alone in the open. Moses handmade 2 cherubim of gold, one on each side of the ark. Also, God wanted Moses and his people to make a lampstand, or as we call it now, a menorah of pure gold to hold the 7 lamps or candles. God instructed Moses to make the tabernacle of 10 strips of cloth made with twisted linen and the colors of blue, purple, and crimson yarns. It also had to have a design of cherubim on it, both of them facing each other. God was very specific on how he wanted Moses to put the cloths together. God commanded Moses and his people to create this because he wanted all these things that Moses was making to go in the new holy sanctuary for everyone to pray in. God also describes in detail the architecture of the sanctuary, its size, materials to use, and how to assemble it. Lastly, God wanted Moses to make 11 cloths of goat's hair for a tent to go over the tabernacle. God was very specific so that Moses and his people knew exactly how to make the holy sanctuary for all the Israelites. God wanted the sanctuary to be very decorative and the architecture to be exact in size.
Slow down, slow down.
One lesson in my Torah portion is that a person's exterior words and deeds must reflect on their inner being and character. For example, in my Torah portion, God wanted the inside of the ark and the sanctuary to be gold, even though no one would see it. God wanted that because the inside of something must match the outside. This applies to real life because someone can be attractive on the outside, but can be selfish, cruel, disrespectful, and lacking integrity on the inside. Or on the contrary, someone can be attractive on the outside and generous, caring, kind on the inside. My goal is to be a trustworthy, generous, and kind son, brother, student, and teammate. I've learned that someone's exterior must always match their interior. Another lesson is that no real achievement is possible without attention to the detail. Moses' achievement was building the sanctuary. He had to put in a lot of hard work, dedication, and attention to the detail to build the sanctuary. An example of achievement and attention to the detail in my life would be sports. In sports, you have to practice and train as much as possible to compete successfully. Another example is doing well in school. To do well, you have to pay attention, take notes, and study to get good grades. I can relate to both of these because I am an athlete and a student at Davis Academy. God's presence comes and dwells among us when we work together for a higher goal and really see each other. In today's world, this can relate to both sports and solving the coronavirus. In sports, it is important to practice, improve your skills, work together as a team, and always support your teammates. I have played on 7 different basketball and baseball teams, and I always try to contribute to the team, support my teammates, and practice as much as I can. When we work as a team, you can feel God's presence watching over us. God's presence is also felt when we address the coronavirus pandemic together as a society. Everyone must work together for the higher goal of lowering the number of cases and eventually solving the coronavirus. People can help by wearing masks, washing hands, and social distancing. Specialists are doing their part in solving the pandemic by helping to make the vaccine and soon finding a cure. They also help treat the sick patients in the hospital. When everyone comes together and does their part, we can hopefully find a cure and end the coronavirus pandemic. The third lesson in my Torah portion is that the cherubim are symbols of how God wants humans to care about each other. They should make an effort to help each other during difficult times. An example where this did not happen was the riots in the Capitol in January. The people who vandalized the Capitol did not treat our country with respect. By destroying the Capitol and stealing valuable items, they were showing a lack of respect for the building and the people inside. A better solution would have been peaceful protest with no violence. This would allow the protesters to voice their opinion without violence. Becoming a bar mitzvah means that I am now an adult in the Jewish community. To me, this means I plan on attending more services, fasting on Yom Kippur, and taking a bigger part during Jewish holidays. I also plan on attending more activities for the temple, having Shabbat dinners with my family, and I hope to join the CCC, Creating Connected Communities Leadership Development Program, when I'm in 8th grade. There are many important Jewish values, but tzedakah is one of the most important ones to me. Tzedakah means charity and giving to others, and this is something my sister and I learned at about a very young age. Tzedakah is important because there are always people struggling in life. When you give back to the community, you feel much better about yourself and become a much more positive person. I routinely give tzedakah by donating clothes to people in need, donating food to the food bank, and donating money to various causes, and giving holiday gifts to children that would otherwise have none. I will continue to make tzedakah a part of my life by doing all of these things. Becoming a bar mitzvah also means getting more connected to the state of Israel. In the past couple of years, I've become more connected to Israel because at my school, the Davis Academy, we learn a lot about Israel, its culture, diversity, and uniqueness. Another way I can get more connected to Israel is when I hopefully go with my 8th grade class next year. For my bar mitzvah project, I had a basketball skills challenge in December in the cul-de-sac in my neighborhood to raise money for a charity called Project Mori. Project Mori is a year-round nonprofit organization that helps underprivileged children attend school, camp, improve their leadership skills, and have an overall better future. There is no charge to the family for this program. Project Mori changes the outcome of about 400 students a year. 98% of these students graduate from high school, 85% attend college, and 91% of students graduate from college. I chose to support Project Mori because at my camp, Timberlake West, we do a fun activity each summer, such as a color run, swim, or other things to raise money for Project Mori. I also want to support Project Mori because I love my camp and the friends that I've made there. In total, I had 15 people participate in my event and raised approximately $2,800. In the process of getting prepared for my bar mitzvah, many people have helped me get to this point. First, I would like to thank Rabbi Spike, Rabbi Max, and Rabbi Rachel for helping me write my Devar Torah and helping me get prepared for this very special day. I'd also like to thank Cantor Desnick and Cantor Margolis for helping me make sure I know all of my prayers correctly and helping me learn my Torah portion. Second, I would like to thank everyone that traveled to be with me and my family for my bar mitzvah here today. To Aunt Leslie and Uncle Michael. Thank you for taking me to Miami Dolphins and Miami Hurricanes games when we come to Miami. I love having sleepovers at your house and going late night swimming in Miami. I love you guys. To my cousins Josh, Drew, and Eli. Thanks for always taking me on golf cart rides and playing basketball, whether in Xbox, whether it's here in Miami. I love you all so much. To Uncle Chris and Aunt Marilyn, I wish you guys could have been here today. I also wish I could see you more often, but I always enjoy the times we spend together on holidays when we're in Miami. To my cousins Colin and Brian, I love throwing the football with you and can't wait to hopefully watch you play college football one day soon. To Grammy and Poppy, I love when we go on family cruises. They were always so much fun. I always enjoy when we FaceTime from Atlanta and having conversations with you guys on the phone. I also love when we visited you guys at your house in the Berkshires, and I enjoy spending time with you at your apartment in Aventura. I love you both so much. To Grandma, I always love going to Epicure for dinner every Saturday, and I'm so sad that it closed and we can't go there again. I love when you come and visit us here and spend a lot of time with us. I love when you send me and Rachel Bitmojis and cat pictures, even though sometimes I don't respond. I love you. To Grandpa and Grandma Maritza. Thanks for always calling to ask about sports and school. Also, thanks for taking us to Heat games when we come to Miami and letting Rachel and I walk the dogs. I can't wait to Sunday meet Bella. I love you guys. To Rachel, I enjoy spending time with you. I love going on the trampoline with you, beating you in basketball, and doing our A&R designs business with you. I love you so much. To Dad, you're the best dad I could ever ask for. I love that you take me to the JCC, DBAT, or even go outside to shoot hoops with me to help me practice for sports. Also, I enjoy our 2K and Madden games, even though I usually beat you most of the time. I love you so much. To Mom, thanks for always helping me with work, driving me to games and practices, and doing anything you can to make me happy. I couldn't ask for a better mom. I love you so much.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Very good. Adam, take a breath. Good job. I don't have any doubt that we just heard from a young man. Beautiful. You talked about the Mishkan, the traveling tabernacle as a way of bringing people together to really see one another. You talked about how that might look in this day and age with kindness, compassion, and attacking the coronavirus as a society. Your Haftorah, which you'll do in a moment, is from 1 Kings 6, 7 through 10. And this is the continuation, of course, of the Mishkan. It's the creation. It's when King Solomon creates the temple using the blueprints of what was in the Mishkan. So you have one iteration to the next, your Torah portion to your Haftorah, and then you beautifully brought it to today and how we can look at this in our lives, in our society. How do we bring God into our presence? Friends, you'll find the Havdalah blessings on page 36 and 37.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar b'nvinim tovim v'ratzav v'divreihem hanemarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai haboher b'torah u'moshe avdo u'v'Yisrael amo u'v'imdiei hamet v'atzedek. V'habayit behebanoto Evan Shlemat Masa Nivena Umakavod Vahagarzen Kokeli Varzel Lo Nishma Babayit Behebanoto Petach Hatzelah Hati Kona Al Ketef Habayit Haimanim Uvlulim Ya'alu El Hati Kona Umim Hati Kona El Hashlishim Vayiven et habayit vayhalehu vayshifon et habayit gevim ushadarat bezim vayiven et ha'etziya al kol habayit hames ba'amot kamato vayachoz et habayit vayetzei arazim.
Good.
Baruch atah
Baruch
atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Sorko Ha'omin Sadik Boho Hadarot Ha'el Hana'eman Ha'omer V'aseh Hamdaber Karim Shehodarav Emet Vatzedek Al HaTorah Ve'al Havdalah Ve'al Hamvi'im Ve'al Yom HaShabbat Hazeh Shinatat Adonai Eloheinu Liktishav Li'miucha Ve'havot Otifaret Al HaKol Adonai Eloheinu Anachnu Modim Lach Marhim atach, Yitbarach Shemcha beficho Hai, Tamile Olam Va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai,
Baruch Shema
Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen. Very good. Okay, friends, Eitz Chaim, page 39.
Eitz Chaim he l'machazikim ba v'tovecha meushar d'rachecha karchenu am v'chol tzivotcha shalom hashivenu Adonai elecha min hashuvah Kadesh, Kadesh Yameinu, Kadesh Yameinu, Kekedem.
So Adam Cantor and I have said it before, but it really is worth repeating. Of all the things that we get to do as Cantor and Rabbi here at Temple Emanu-El, including high holiday services and ruckus Friday night services and weddings, what we've been doing with you for the past few months is absolutely our most favorite thing. And that is getting to know you at a deep level and also studying what's called Torah Lishma, Torah for the sake of higher thought, higher thinking. Adam, working with you on your Devar Torah and having these deep conversations with you, a couple things really came out. One, this whole business of the inside is supposed to reflect the outside and vice versa, and you call it integrity, is very important to you. And that's a laudable characteristic. Integrity is what we do when nobody's watching. When nobody's watching, how do we act? When nobody's watching, what decisions do we make? Who are we really inside us? That's an existential question. And for you, it's really important that you be the gold, which doesn't mean you're perfect. Nobody's perfect, okay? But that you are striving to really be a good person and to do the right thing in your relationships that you have, right? The choices that you make. And again, not perfect, but striving. That's really important. The other thing that you brought up, it is worth highlighting here, is this idea of the cherubim, these two figureheads on the ark. And according to your Torah portion, they're facing each other with the Ark of the Covenant in between. And from this, the sages say that the way that we really can experience God is when we look at each other openly and honestly, not trying to get something from somebody else, but really see each other. And that when we do that, God's presence is in the exchange. This is something, both those things, integrity and bringing a real sense of presence, honest presence, pure presence. These are two qualities that you really have. The third quality that I've seen, and I would bet that your coaches would agree, is you are very coachable. Has anybody ever said that to you before?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Which means, and that's a good thing, which means that when we are working together and you're given hints or nudges, you see exactly what's going on and you take it and you run with it. That's a very, very good quality, so that we were able to delve more deeply into your Torah portion than is typical, because you have what's here and what's here and want to take it and imbibe it, right? And make it your own. Those are three very good qualities to have, and they're very different qualities. So my hope is that you take these nascent qualities that are already defining who you are and go with them, meaning make them larger, bigger, make them a bigger part of your life. Take us to wherever you are going. It's been a pleasure to be working with you, and the hope is this is just the beginning. All right? Okay.
Adam, I am so proud of you. You have done an incredible job leading us today. And something that you mentioned in your Devar Torah really struck me. I love how you describe this idea of building a sense of collaboration and camaraderie with your team, with your teammates. And that not only that, you took this idea, a real sense of dedication, which I love that you put into your Devar Torah, because as we worked together over these past 6 months, I've really seen you perform that sense of dedication. And that's rare. When you see a young person just completely embody something that, is in the back of, that might be in the back of their mind, or that, they're just writing about, but you really embody that sense of dedication. And not only that, you talked about creating what we could consider a sanctuary with your whole team, because you brought the idea of God's presence right in the center, in that kind of collaboration and communication. And so my blessing for you, my charge for you, is that wherever you go, you keep living that sense of dedication, that sense of integrity that Rabbi talked about. It certainly showed today, and you will bring that sense of a sanctuary, of a holy place then, wherever you are, not just on the basketball court or the baseball field, but in your home with mom and dad, in your school community, and in your future with your family many, many, many years down the road. And I cannot wait to see the kind of mikdash you create in your life. Mazel tov.
So now Cantor and I get to bless you in the way that our clergy have been doing with our youth since the beginning of time. I'd ask everyone to rise, please. Mom and Dad, a hand on his shoulders.
May
God bless you and keep you. May God's countenance shine upon you and be gracious to you.
וישים לך שלום.
May God's face turn towards you, Adam, and grant you the greatest gift of all, knowing that you are held, loved, and supported by your family, friends, and community, your religion, your tradition, feet on the ground, Torah to your back, Ner Tamid above you, your whole life ahead of you, opportunity, a sense of wholeness, completeness, peace. And we say,
Amen.
Okay, friends, we can have a seat. And Mom and Dad, Lisa and David, this is where you share some words about your son.
First, we want to thank Rabbi Spike and Kenner Desnick for all their help in getting to this day. It really was incredible what you guys have done with Adam, and we've seen him grow along the way. So thank you. We also want to thank all of Adam's teachers at the Davis Academy for helping him get to this day as well.
Adam, well, we made it. Sometimes it didn't seem like we were going to get here, but we made it. We knew for well over 2 years what your theme would be, and of course, the colors to go along with it. Bring your A game, and you definitely brought your A game today. We know it's not how you envision your bar mitzvah to be, and truth be told, it isn't how we envisioned it either. But we are so proud of you for never complaining about what you didn't get to experience and but what you didn't get to have. You went with the flow, doing all your lessons by Zoom, never even meeting your tutor, knowing you wouldn't get to have the big party, and you did amazing. You should be so proud of your accomplishment, and we hope you remember it for the rest of your life.
Going along with our theme, we want to talk about some of the main ways we think you bring your A game to different aspects of your life. You brought your A game when we moved to Atlanta. It wasn't easy to pick up and move when you were 8 years old, leaving all your friends behind, but you never complained. Well, maybe once or twice. And you so quickly acclimated to life in Atlanta, making new best friends and adjusting to your new school.
Speaking of school, you bring your A game to school. You've always been a great student, from Montessori to North Beach to the Davis Academy. We're so proud of the effort you put into all of your work, even if I do sometimes need to remind you about assignments or deadlines, but you always manage to get the work done and get it done well. You brought your A game to bar mitzvah prep. Seeing you study and learn in preparation for today, when your friends were out playing sports or Xbox, has been inspiring. We are so incredibly proud of you.
You bring your A game to sports, whether it's baseball, basketball, or whatever sport you're playing. You've become such a great athlete and teammate, and we are so proud of how you show great sportsmanship in all your games. I love playing one-on-one with you in the driveway, even if the time has come that you can beat me with your three-point shot. I remember Poppy giving us tickets so I could take you to your first Dolphins game, which happened to be at night, and you shockingly fell asleep on the way home. You told Mommy the next morning, "Can you tell Poppy that I don't want to go to any more Dolphins games at night?" And now it's hard to get you to go to bed when you're watching those late night Seahawks, Dolphins, or Heat games. Boy, have times changed.
You absolutely bring your A game to your friendships. We're so proud of how you keep your friendships with your best friends in Miami, your amazing friends from camp who you talk or text with every single day, and a special thank you to Hudson, who flew here from Miami today. And especially how you fit right into an amazing group of friends here in Atlanta, almost from day one. You brought your A game to your mitzvah project. It wasn't easy planning during COVID, but you did such a great job raising $2,800 for Project Mori and educating those around you about this worthwhile charity. You knew as soon as you came home from your first summer at Timberlake West that this was what you wanted to do for your mitzvah project. You love your camp so much, and you want other children to have the same experience. We hope this is just the first of many charitable projects that you will be a part of.
You bring your A game to your family. You are a wonderful son, brother, cousin, and grandson. We love the bond that you and Rachel have, even though you do sometimes fight. We love watching you play together, even if we sometimes can't get the two of you to listen to us. And we hope that love and friendship continues throughout your life.
Adam, we can't believe how quickly these 13 years have gone by. There's a saying, the days are long, but the years are short. And I think that that sums up these years. We have definitely had some long days, but the years went by way too quickly. In some ways, you have changed so much from the little boy that didn't want me to leave him when I went to work in the morning or dropped him off at Montessori when I went to work, and the boy that waited by the door when I came home from work in the afternoon. But then sometimes I get a glimpse of him when we hang out, just the two of us running errands or watching TV at night. You are growing up to be smart, confident, and independent, all the things a mother could want.
These past few months preparing for your bar mitzvah have been amazing to watch from the sidelines. I've seen this confident, committed young man cross the finish line. What a tremendous achievement and wonderful feeling. You should really feel great about it. We've so enjoyed watching you grow and mature into who you are today. We are so proud of who you've become. You give your all to everything that you do: school, sports, friendships, family, and life. At times you face challenges, as we all do, but you've tackled them head on and overcome them. Know that when you put in 100%, like you have today, there's nothing that you cannot accomplish.
Remember to always do the right thing, which, as my grandmother taught me, is not necessarily the easy thing. Always stand up for what you believe in and for what is right. Help those that are less fortunate than you. Find your passion and pursue it. And above all, always remember how much we love you. And finally, even though there are only a handful of people here today in the sanctuary, we hope you could feel the love from everyone watching on Zoom. And know that if they could have been here today in person, they absolutely would have been. We love you. Love you more.
Beautiful. Friends, can we stand for Elena on page 40? And Rachel, will you join your family on up there to open the ark with Adam? There you go. So Rachel, will you and Adam open the ark, and Mom and Dad right behind them? Page 40.
Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol, la'teit gedula le'yotzer bereshit, shelo asanu kegoyei ha'aratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chalkenu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, va'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'marim, lifnei melech, Mochei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, v'ne'emar, Nehaya Adonai, l'melech kol haaretz, vayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo,
Close the ark gently. Okay, and everyone can be seated. Family, please come to the bima. Adam, in a moment we'll recite the Mourners Kaddish on page 41. There is an idea, of course, as Cantor alluded to, that the generations, the Jewish generations, even those who are no longer with us on earth, are with us today in this sanctuary, watching you with pride at the leading that you have done and continue to do. Friends, if you are in the first 30 days of mourning a loved one's passing, the Shoshim period, we ask you to rise. If you're in the first year of mourning a loved one's passing, we ask you to rise. If you are commemorating the yard site, the death anniversary of a loved one's passing this Shabbat, please rise. And if it is your custom to rise either in solidarity or for no one who has someone to say Kaddish for them, please do so now. Mourners Kaddish, page 41. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash me Rabbah ve'alma divrach yirteh ve'amlich malchuteh Chayochon Uvimechon Chayedecho Beit Yisrael Galavis Man Karev Yimru. Amen. Hey Shmei Rabba Mevarach Le'olam Olmei Almaya Yit Barach V'Yishtabach V'Yitpa'ar V'Yitroman V'Yitnaseh V'Yitadar V'Yitale V'Yitala Shmei Dekudsha Richu Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'Shirata Tushbechata V'Nechamata Amin Ram B'Yomah V'Yimru. Amen. Hey Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya V'Chaim Aleinu V'Al Kol Yisrael V'Yimru. Amen. Osei Shalom B'Yimru Ma'av Uya Aseh Shalom Aleinu V'Al Kol Yisrael V'Yimru. Amen.
Oseh Shalom B'Yimru Ma'av Uya Aseh Shalom Aleinu V'Al Kol Yisrael V'Yimru. Amen. Oseh Shalom B'Yimru Ma'av Uya Aseh Shalom Aleinu V'Al Kol Yisrael V'Yimru. Amen.
Okay, family, shimmy to your left over to the Havdalah set. Havdalah is the separation ceremony between Shabbat and Chol the rest of the week. We, of course, begin Shabbat by lighting candles and end by lighting a candle, which is really a torch. 6 different candles make up the Havdalah candle, and when lit, you can see that the flame rises higher than it would individually. So David, will you light the Havdalah candle there? And Adam, when you're ready, hold it on up.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. We raise the Kiddush cup.
Kiddush cup.
Borei peri hagafen, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Smell the spices. Borei minei me'amim, borei minei misamim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Look into the fire. Borei ne'orei ha'esh, borei ne'orei ha'esh. Yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Amadil ben kodesh lechol, amadil ben kodesh lechol. Amadil ben kodesh lechol, chatoteinu yimcho, zar'enu b'chasfenu yarbechacho, b'chakochavim b'layla. Shavua tov, 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 Shavua tov. Eliyahu hanavi, Eliyahu hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu hagilai. Simit
tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, mazel tov, simen tov. Emanu, 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 Ulachol Yisrael. Emanu, Emanu, Ulachol Yisrael. Emanu, Emanu, Ulachol Yisrael. Emanu, Emanu, Ulachol Yisrael. Mazel tov, everybody. Shavua tov, mazel tov.